What's up, ChocoLumpia Lessons Tribe? It is ChocoLumpia of ChocoLumpia Lessons. Good morning. You're going to get ready with me, and we're going to talk about scary, creepy things. I don't think I've worn this robe yet, so woo! Here we are. Oh, first, hold on. Oh, he looks like Mikhail Gorbachev now. Gorbachev with the coffee. Sorry, anyways. I'm drinking coffee with no creamer and honey. And it sounds like it tastes like it sounds. But I'm trying to keep it low carb and, no. Oh. This angle, I don't like this angle, but you know what? It's higher at least. It's like level compared to last time. And that's what we're gonna do today, you guys. I'm gonna try to do this in 30 minutes. So story time, get ready with me. I just put on some prep and prime for my face. You probably can't even see. Okay, there's that. And then this is prep and prime also, but it's for if you have large pores, which I do, especially on my nose, and it just kind of smooths it out. It's pretty cool. Anyways, non-spons, right? But I'm a MAC girl and I love all the MAC things. So all the makeup today will be MAC, not spons, but I love it. All right. It's too early. I've been up for a while. Just kidding. I hate when people do that. But you know what? What? You know what happens? This is karma. When you joke around about something or make fun of something and then it becomes a habit that you do, and that sucks because that's karma. Putting my Studio Fix on my foundation brush. Okay, so I wanted to talk about some creepy, scary things. I also wanted to talk a little bit about a movie that I saw the other day. Oh, I was gonna use my phone as the mirror. No, girl. Okay, that's gonna be confusing. I watched a movie. I won't spoil because I don't like when people spoil, okay? But also, if you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. It just came out because I just got the notification on Netflix. Again, non-spons. Like Netflix would sponsor me. That'd be awesome though. Hey Netflix, put me in a movie. Put me in an original movie. Did I do my intro? I'm just so excited to get to the makeup. Okay. This movie is called, I don't remember what it's called. Oh man, hold on. Okay, I had to look it up, sorry. So it's called Things Heard and Seen. Wow, I just looked it up. Things Heard and Seen. Okay, the powder's on, or the concealer, no, what? The foundation, wow, Studio Fix. And now I'm going in with my Studio Fix concealer, okay? I'm gonna go right underneath here. And then we wanna make sure that we blot that. Ooh, that's not centered. It's fine. There we go. That's centered. Okay, my camera just shut off for no reason. I have enough space, so that was weird and very creepy because of what we're talking about today. Okay, so I have my damp butt plug. No, I have my damp, oh my God. You know what this is called. Beauty blender, non-spons. That was so odd. Now my stomach hurts because what the hell? Okay, let me just focus for a second. Why did that happen? That's strange. Okay, and then just a little bit, boop, 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 right? I'm trying to have dimension on my nose. I'm actually gonna keep that like that for right now because I don't wanna blend it away. You know what I'm saying? We put the stuff there so that we can conceal it. Okay, so we're just lightening up underneath the eyes, right? I'm gonna actually, my beauty blender keeps falling. Okay, we'll put you there. We're still recording? Okay, great. Okay, great. If the camera shakes when I put a product down, it's because I'm putting it on my table. Lo siento. So I'm going to now take my, not that, my Studio Fix powder. I'm going to just lock it in. I would usually use a setting powder for this, but I was trying to stay in the theme of all MAC, and I don't have that in MAC. I have it with another company, so anyways. Okay, I look ghostly, which is also fitting. Okay, I'm like nervous that it's not gonna record now. All right, so now I'm going to just brush my eyebrows. So the reason I wanted to talk about the topic that I want to talk about today. Do you guys believe in ghosts? Or spirits or entities? I do. Now, I don't believe that they're all like necessarily in a white sheet and they're saying like, boo, you know, because my neighbor walks by. Hi. Oh, what a weirdo. Me, I'm saying. But I do believe in energy and residual things being left behind once people pass, right? I have a lot of people in my life who have passed, who I feel like still come around and show themselves in certain ways, and they're all very loving, and they are what I consider my support system. Now, if you don't believe in that, then you're probably gonna be like, oh my God, ChocoLumpia has lost it. She's going insane. No, that's always how I've been and felt. And I just don't talk about it a lot. But I do have a lot of stories, and I've talked to friends who also believe in these things, and the stories that we've shared are just too weird to be coincidental. I don't believe in coincidences anyway. Well, let's try that word again. I don't believe in coincidences anyway. Still said it weird, it's fine. But what may seem like a coincidence is not. Now I feel like weird about that word. Oh, God. I keep trying to use this as the mirror. That's not the way we want to go, girl. No, we don't want to go like that. I don't like contouring a lot because I feel like my face is already, what's the word? I don't know, like, I don't know. I have some strong features already, so I don't like to make it too crazy, but we're gonna contour a little. That's picking up on camera or not. So this movie, no spoilers, don't worry, but you should watch it. It's called Things whatever I said earlier. It's the new like trending movie on Netflix. Okay? Okay? I have a small head. Small head? Small head? It's not a 4 head. It's like a 2.5 head. I have a small, so I don't do a lot of contouring up there because I don't need it. But sometimes, you know, I'm not gonna add any extra contour to my nose. I'm just gonna leave it, you know, but we contoured a little bit here. Sorry, if I'm rushing, it's because I am. All right, so this movie is based on a book that I did not read, but I would have had I heard about it. And I don't know, I've been weird with books lately. It's hard for me. I don't know. It's just, I mean, obviously you can tell from this channel. I can't sit still. So sitting and reading as of late doesn't sound like fun to me. I love reading. I do. But I now, like in the last few years, it's like I can read maybe a chapter. Whoa, this looks really harsh on camera. I did use a very dark blush, but that's because that's all I have. MAC, if you want to sponsor me, I would love it. Send me some stuff so I can play. Maybe it's just really bright because it's also up against my robe. I don't know. It doesn't look that intense on real life, in real life, but here, I'll just fix it a little bit. Let me just do that by going in with my regular regular powder on top. Okay. Ispeta. All right, so this movie is about, and Amanda Seyfried is in it. Is that how you say her name? Seyfried? Who I love with her big ol' eyes. She's so pretty. I've been a fan of hers for a very long time. I'm using my MAC highlighter, Global Glow. This is the one that I like. I actually like a few different ones, but for today, I'm gonna use this one. And then a little bit here. Her and her husband moved to the country. There's a lot of stuff I'm not filling in because you should see that or watch it. But it's a very interesting story about what married life is like, and trust and spirits. And I really don't want to give it away. The ending was a little bit not my favorite, but that doesn't mean that I didn't like it. Most of the time when I watch films, I like to think about it in the way of like how I would have cinematically visualized it, because I feel like I'm a very visual person, so I want to see how they took words and made it a movie. So I really enjoy watching movies that are from or based on books. I did not read this book beforehand, so I didn't have my own idea of what the movie would look like. But okay, so I'm gonna go into, I'm using one of my favorite MAC palettes. It's a mixture, obviously. For my base here, I'm not even really, well, do I want to do a base? Yeah, I'll do a base. I should do a base. One moment, please. So I'm gonna go into my Laying Low, my Pro Longwear paint pot, and I'm just gonna put that on the lid. And I do this because, one, it really helps the color stay. I'm just gonna put it on and then blend it with my finger so we can speed this up. But also because I have oily skin, and when you have oily skin and you try to do cool eyeshadow without priming it first, you get creases. You get creases, and the color goes away fast. So all the work that you did on your shadow disappears. So it's good to set it, and you have to do this pretty quickly so that it doesn't just get, what's the word? I don't want to say dry, but I guess that's the word I'm looking for. I don't know if you could hear any of that. I just realized I was like whispering to myself. Are we still recording? Okay. Again, apologies for the weird angle. One of these days, I'll be able to get stuff that helps me make this better for you, you know? But until then, this is what it is. It is what it is. Ew. Why do I always sound like Bill Cosby when I say that? Okay, so we got that. Now, I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna shut up, is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set it with, with my powder. Wow. Just so that it's set, okay? Okay, and then I'm not even gonna do that crazy of a lid today, but I wanna set that with powder so it doesn't get like sticky. And then I'm gonna go back to where I was with my thought. Boop. Sorry, that's really loud when I do that. My bad. My bad. No, I don't want to use that brush. Ugh. I need a better brush. Okay. I'm gonna go in with the brown. This guy. And I don't want to go too dark, so I'm gonna mix it a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not gonna mix it. So I'm gonna go here, the bottom, and I wanna take it up. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Oops. Okay, so yeah. On my podcast, I talk a lot about how you just really have to be aware of who is in your circle at all given moments of your life. Now, that might sound really paranoid to some people, but in a way, it kind of is. There are a lot of people out there who don't have the best intentions there. That's the word, or that's the phrase I'm trying to go for. So I'm just gonna keep building this while I talk, otherwise we'll be here for a day. Now I'm gonna go into that, like this guy. It has a name, Flaming Femme. The other one was Schemer. Okay, you know, I don't make the names. It's gonna be a kind of wild look for today. Not really doing much, but it's part of the reason why we're here, talking about what is going on. So be aware of who's in your, and you know what's crazy is that it affects, it's who you're partnered with, right? It's who their that's a totally different situation. It's who you're partnered with, and then who their friends are, who their family is, who their coworkers are, if they spend time with those people. It's like a whole melting weird pot. And I'm mixing now some shimmery. That one is Mischief Minx. Okay. I'm just gonna do that in here so it's a little bit softer. And I'm gonna carry that over into the center. Not too much, not too much. Just a little bit. Again, I wouldn't blow on it if I was doing someone's makeup because that is not hygienic. But since it's me doing my makeup with my makeup, it's fine. You wanna just do a little tap, 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 right? Not like on your client, but you know. Okay. So yeah, you have to think about all those things. I know it's not what you want to think about. You don't want to worry about all of the circles that are intertwined, but I swear to God, all of the movies that I watch, all of the books that I read, all of the documentaries that I study, and the podcasts that I listen to, I'm just saying, it's all of the people that you know, okay? We have to be better with boundaries. We're so worried. When I say we, I'm talking about the general public. I'm talking about all of us. I've had moments where I've had issues with this as well. So it's not like I'm exempt. I'm not saying that because I have learned this, that it's not something that I don't continue to think about. I never want to repeat the things that I've made mistakes with before, right? That's the whole process of learning. It's imperative to understand that it's okay to set boundaries for yourself and to tell people. Now I'm gonna go into this gold here. I think that one's, V Frisky. Hilarious. That's gonna go right in the center, or not in the center, in the center of my, at the corner of my eye, the other C word, the corner, and I'm just gonna drag it a little bit. Okay. Boundaries, man. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone's so afraid of like, oh, well, now they think I'm mean. Or they don't like me now because I set a boundary. Tough titty, you know? Someone doesn't like you because you set a boundary. They were obviously planning to overstep boundaries. And if they didn't know that they were planning it, in the back of their brain, they were thinking, I'm gonna overstep boundaries. So the fact that you had to put down a boundary and then they got offended by it or feel some kind of way about it, bye. Bye. That's all I have to say about it. Everybody can buy for all I care. When it comes to that, you have an issue with me setting a boundary? Excuse me? Okay. So now I am going to, I'm gonna do my eyeliner, and then I'm gonna put some lashes on. Oh my God, I haven't done those in a minute. I'll do, well, yeah. Oh wait, I wanna put a little bit of highlighter right underneath my brow. We'll go back to this one. Do I have a little tiny brush today? Not in front of me. Wow, I'm spending a lot of time looking for brushes. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna use the same brush, which I wouldn't normally do, but here we are. So I'm just gonna use this highlighter guy. So yeah, and sometimes you're just not gonna know until it happens, you know? And that's the unfortunate fuckery of it all. So I don't even know why I'm that was not an inspirational story at all, right? It's not. But at least if you can be aware, I feel like that helps a little bit. Because people will try. People will try in all realms. They'll try in career, they'll try in being your neighbor, they'll try in being your friend, they'll try in being a random stranger on the street, they'll try in being someone you're in a relationship with, they'll try in being a family member. Everybody gonna try. It's like, you know, I used to teach a lot of little kids, and little kids are funny because they will try too. How far can I get without getting in trouble? you know? If you remember being a kid, you remember. That's what we did. Until you learned, oh, okay, that's about as far as I can go without getting in trouble, right? Okay. We're going to the line now. To the line, are we still recording? Okay, good. Are we still recording? Okay. All right. So we're gonna go eyes or eyeliner. So watch that movie, and then maybe I'll do a chat about it, talk with me. Oh, I'm using my favorite liner, my brushstroke 24-hour liner. I'm going like this into the lid so that I can get the juices. That sounds gross, but I'm trying to get the fluid to the top. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do a lot of liner because I'm putting lashes on, but I do like to wing it a little. So pardon me. You know what? Let me just do this and then I'll come back because you're just going to see the top of my head. Okay, we're here. So now I'm going to use I've already trimmed these so that they fit my actual eye. And I lost part of the end, so that's gonna end up scaring me at some point, thinking that it's some kind of weird bug. It's fine. And then my duo glue. I can't remember what I was talking about before I shut out. So I'll get to chat right now because I have to put the glue on and let it sit for a little bit before I apply it to my eyeball. So Ghost, the movie, boundaries, right? What does that all have to do with Ghost? Well, that movie is kind of a ghost story. I don't think that's a spoiler. I think you can get that from the trailer. I won't tell you anything more about it. You have to just watch it. Okay. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a second on the tray so that the glue doesn't transfer. I'm actually gonna pick that up right after I do this glue on this lash. Oh, that was a big chunk. I wouldn't normally, oh my God. I wouldn't normally do it straight from the tip of the applicator, but I can't find my holders. I can't find my lash holder. So here we are, you know? And I've got glue all over my hands. It's great. Okay. I should have waited to do the second one. It's fine. I'm still waking up also. I'm gonna wash my hands real fast. Okay, so in case you're wondering, my plant behind me, why he's there, it's just because when I water him, I have to put him in a different planter so that it drains. And then I like to open the front door for him so that he can get all the sunlight. That might be weird, I don't know. My plants are loved, okay? That's all I will say about that. Like, yeah, they're like little aliens to me. So, I've worked at a haunted hotel before, and I'm gonna keep everything vague just because I'm not trying to dox myself or, you know, put anybody on blast. This location actually doesn't even really exist anymore. I mean, it exists, but it's not open. So, but I've always been interested in the paranormal. That's just how I've been. And I'll talk more about that later in another podcast episode. But in this particular haunted hotel, there was a lot of energy in certain rooms, And I didn't feel scared or worried ever. There was maybe one area where I felt the energy was very weird. And unfortunately, I happened to be in that room for like a 7-hour shift one night, and I got banged up pretty bad. And I'm pretty agile and physical and know everything about my balance and my weight. I've been dancing since I was like 2 years old. So I'm pretty physically aware. So for me to like trip or do something clumsily, yes, that happens, but it's also very rare. And there were a few times where like my foot would get stuck when I was trying to do this certain scare, and then I would fall. And if I didn't catch myself a certain way, then I definitely would have busted my head open because the ground was concrete. It's all very scary when you think of it that way, but I always like to go into a certain area if I feel like or have heard that there are negative energies there, and make sure that they know that I'm not there to harm them or bother them or be disrespectful. I'm there to be just to do a job, to do my job, or I happen to have to share the space with them. And so I make sure that that's clear. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anything. I'm not trying to expose anything. You know, I'm there as a positive whatever. Okay, I'm gonna try to put this on now, but I feel like I don't have enough glue. I'm gonna pause it for a second because this is not gonna be exciting to watch. Okay, the lashes are on. The glue is still wet, so I had to add some to the corners because, you know, it's been a minute since I put lashes on. Also, why does the eyelash glue smell like, I don't even know how to describe it. If you've ever used eyelash glue, oh my Jesus, why does it smell like that? It's horrendous. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of mascara to just tie everything together. Please excuse my sample of my in extreme dimension 3D black lash. That's what I'm gonna use though. Just to bring it all out as I stab myself in the eye. Bring it all together, plus my lashes. I didn't put anything on them, so we're just gonna, Ow, too deep. That's what she said. Okay. Sorry if you have eye things and that made you feel really triggered. It triggered me too, trust. That fucking hurt. Oh my God. I'm okay. So yeah, started to get a little deep with the witchy woo-woo. Anyway, recently I went to a location that I've actually never heard about it being haunted. But this is weird. How do I tell this story without... Let me think about how I need to... I've never heard about this place being haunted or scary things happening there. I've actually used to work at this location now, many years after the event that happened there took place. And I honestly didn't even know anything about it, which is kind of bothersome. And I understand why they wouldn't say much about it. But also I feel like it's just kind of inconsiderate to not, I don't know. There was no warning. Anyway, whatever. So the only reason I knew is because I had this, I don't want to call her a stalker, but she was very odd and didn't really understand boundaries, I guess. I don't even necessarily want to call her a student because she wasn't really. I think she might have been a student of mine once before, And then all the other times I ran into her, it was because she was trying to get into my class. But then never actually enrolled. And it would become a problem because legally and liability wise, if you're in a class, you have to be enrolled because that's the liability, right? It's a liability if you are not enrolled in a class. And I believe in all of that. So I follow protocol when it comes to that. I don't want to be liable for someone who's not technically enrolled in my class. I don't want to be liable for someone who is enrolled in my class, but as a responsible individual and a responsible teacher, I make sure that I do what I need to take care of my students and myself and my job, right? So after a lot of different odd situations, I had to talk to the administration or the front desk or whatever you want to call it, and give them kind of warning about this person who would follow me to my car and ask me questions about school stuff when we were done and I had already answered questions, the same questions inside the classroom. Also, don't follow people to their cars. It's creepy, whether you're a guy or a girl, whatever. Just like, that's a boundary. Like, someone's car is their safe space. If you know them really well, you know, having a conversation at someone's car is a totally different thing, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it weirds me out when people approach me at my car, especially if I'm at my job and they're either a customer or a client or a student or whatever. There's a time and a place, and usually it's in the office or in the building or by appointment, you know what I mean? So I ended up having to tell higher ups about it. It ended up being like not a thing, but they basically were just making sure that she wasn't trying to drop in on my class or hang out in my area, because it was like a few years. This was a few years long. And so when people ask me like, why are you so private when it comes to certain things? I mean, obviously, like, I'm on YouTube and I'm on social medias, but I'm very private when it comes to personal things. And it's because I've had run-ins like this, where that's not even like a scary necessarily situation. I've had scary situations, and so I try to protect at all costs because people don't know boundaries or limits. So you have to set them. And that's why I'm big on teaching people and reiterating it on all of my platforms, that is important. It's important to set boundaries and to be very stern and direct. You don't have to be a bitch, but you have to be very specific, and sometimes it may lead to you sounding like a bitch according to someone else. But if it's being called a bitch and being alive, if those are the two things that are fighting, I'm gonna stay alive. So I don't know what to tell you, okay? So there was one day where she followed me to my car. She had a question about the class, which I had already answered, but she had another question. And then, like, this was over the span of 2 to 3 years and at multiple locations. So at multiple campuses, I guess, if you want to call it that. So at this particular location where I'm referring to originally, where I didn't know that something big happened there several years ago, this student told me about it. She told me at my car, and she said, do you know what happened here? And I went, no. Because as far as I was concerned, this was a pretty new, not new, but it was like a rebuild. Like, this particular location was a rebuild. So according to me, I didn't know that anything existed there beforehand. She's like, oh yeah. There was a massacre here. And I went, is this when she kills me? I'm not laughing at the massacre. I'm laughing at how I was I was worried that this person might have been having like a weird reaction to me, and then this moment where I'm by myself with her at my car in a parking lot is where she might decide that she flips the fuck out, right? That's not funny, but dark humor, okay? And coping with trauma, and that's just kind of how that works. Sorry. But so I said, what do you mean? Like, what? I had no idea what she was talking about. She then proceeded to tell me the story, and then I, driving home from work that day, was like, oh my God. Like, I had been working there for a couple of years at that point, been there in the space completely by myself with the lights off, and and I never felt anything weird. I was never frightened or heard scary sounds or saw anything weird happen. I can usually feel when something feels weird energy-wise, and I never felt it there. So like when I worked at the haunted hotel, there were definitely areas where things felt weird, but I didn't think too much of it because I was working, and also we were being creepy there. So we had to kind of be in that mindset and in that frame of mind to scare people. But there were times in certain areas where I didn't want to necessarily be by myself in that spot, but then you would get left by yourself all the time at that job, which was really fucking weird. And it was an interesting job. I miss it. It was fun, but there were very, very strange aspects to it. Like, no one wanted to tell you anything. And I never understood that. I like to be fully aware of everything, full disclosure, everything when I start working somewhere. And yeah, there was a lot of like, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out as we go. Oh, it'll make sense when we get there. What? That's shit that you hear in horror movies. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there. Oh, well, it'll all make sense once we get to the location. No, I want to know beforehand so I can decide if I'm not doing this or not, Anyway, so yeah, at that haunted hotel, lots of bruises, but that's from being physical in the space too, but a lot of unintentional bruises too, where I felt like I was pushed or like energy wise. My foot got stuck, and I knew that my foot wasn't stuck before I tried something, And you know how to do, it's like being a stunt person. Like you figure out how to do a certain thing that makes it look really big and scary without it actually giving you oh my God. I probably had like 10 of them. It's fine. Well, it's not fine, but this is what happens, without getting a concussion. Okay, we did it. So I had a nail rip out, like literally off of my hand. The door that I had to slam, it didn't get stuck in the slam, but in me trying to pull the door was not hard, but every like 10 times I would have to move the door in a shift. I'd probably say 3 times were easy, and the other 7 were hard, like really heavy. And I don't know why that changed energy-wise, the door being heavy versus not being heavy. I don't know. But there was one time where it was a heavy time, and the nail just, I think it was my middle finger, the nail just ripped off, and my scream was a genuine scream. So that was fun. And I remember telling one of my coworkers, and he was just like, yeah, it happens. And that was kind of how it was working there. Anyway, so I went home and I Googled what happened at this location where she said a massacre took place. And I'll just insert a picture here in case you want to do your own Googling and find out what happened. I watched a documentary on it, which is very chilling and scary and sad, extremely sad and horrifying. And the fact that I didn't have any idea that that had gone on beforehand was bothersome to me, just energy-wise. But, it was like in the middle of the semester, so I was still going there. But I would just feel really sad after knowing. And so recently, I've had to go to that location again. And again, I had forgotten, because the rebuild is totally different looking, and you know, I was focused on other things at the time. And going there again today, actually. So by the time I post this, I don't know when this will be up. It will have passed. But going there again today, just, and then revisiting those thoughts in my head of like what actually happened there. And I did more research and was looking at like a dedication that's out in front of this location. And then I Google searched it to see if that was there, because I don't remember ever seeing it. And it's literally where I was standing in line for this particular thing. And it was just crazy that it's the, like, this kind of shrine that they built in memoriam of the, I think it was 22 lives that were lost in total. I can't remember now, I apologize, but it's just, it's in front and it's there, you know, with a little plaque. And I'll insert a video here of when I go there today and record just for a moment so that you can see what I'm talking about. There will be people outside and a line probably, so I just want to be very careful and respectful of recording. But it just got me thinking, and I'm gonna put some liner on. It's just such a weird world. And the last time I was there, there was this guy who was just saying that we were all sinners, just yelling at everybody, you know, like a normal person would on a weekday. And it was odd, but I'm from New York, you know? So we see that stuff and we're just like, as long as he's not shooting, you know? That got real dark. Sorry. But that's just kind of where my headspace has been. I probably should stop watching so many documentaries and listening to crime podcasts and watching haunted movies. I did stop for a long time. I'm putting a little bit of peach stock. I'm gonna be wearing a mask anyway, but I do have to do a Zoom meeting in a moment. So just a natural beat face. I'm gonna use some of my, this is what I was talking about last time I did a Get Ready With Me, I think. It's the watermelon prep and prime. I usually like to put that on before I start, but since I did the other prep and prime, I just want to put it on after because it smells so good. And then I'm also going to do the fix just to make sure that that gets locked in. Lock it in. So sorry, this Get Ready With Me was a little bit on the darker side. But you know, I don't know. I was just thinking about that recently and I wanted to talk about it because I don't know how many of you believe in ghosts or energies like that, or, you know, like I said, I don't believe that the ghosts are necessarily walking around with a white sheet on going boo, you know, but I do believe, like I've talked about this on my podcast. I have a friend who I believe, when I'm feeling very serious and focused, will do things to make me stop and laugh, because that was what he was like in real life when he was here. So when something just seems so ridiculous, like I'm holding something and it just flies out of my hand, like it obviously didn't slip, right? Like it feels kind of like if you're holding something like this and someone just hits it and it, right, it flies like so ridiculously. That's when I know one of my friends is like just trying to get me to slow down and laugh. And then it usually makes me laugh. So I believe in that, you know? I also have very vivid dreams. My dreams are like movies. So people would always make fun of me in high school because I love taking naps. I love sleeping, because when I sleep, I get to see really cool shit. It's like if I could transpose, is that the word? If I could transpose my dream into a digital film, they would be so cool. They really would. They'd be like award-winning. You don't even know. If there was a way I could figure out how to go into filmmaking like that, which I would love, it would be amazing. But what I've learned as of late is that people want to make you a one-trick pony, and you are not a one-trick pony. If you do lots of things, do lots of things. Love doing lots of things. Enjoy doing lots of things. Grow your ability to do lots of things. You can be talented at a lot of things. You don't have to just focus on one thing. So people look at my resume and they're like, wait, what? You do all of these things? And I'm like, yeah. Now, am I a master at all of them? No. Do I love doing all of them? Yes. Have I worked doing all of them? Yes. So that's okay that it's confusing to you. It doesn't have to make sense for you. It makes sense to me, and it makes sense for the things that I end up doing, you know? Anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point, but you know, live your life. Whatever you want to do, do it. Be nice to ghosts, and they shouldn't be mean to you unless they're an evil ghost. What was the movie I just watched recently too? It was an old one. It had to do with the Catholic Church, and it was stigmata-like, and the chick even looked reminiscent of Patricia Arquette, but it wasn't her. I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't that great. But it was interesting because it showed a bad spirit getting into this girl. And it had a lot of crows in it, which also freaked me out because there's a lot of crows. I see a lot of crows. This is getting real creepy. Anyways, but I always talk to the crows. I used to yell at the crows because they would always make that like their caw sound. Is that what it's called? Their bird sound is really annoying to me. It's not like a pretty sound. It's very, I don't know. I'm not going to try to do it right now. Anyways, so I used to tell them shut up all the time because they're close to where I live. Like they just fly around, which is probably not the best sign. Anyways, whatever. But I'm used to them, and they've been around for a long time. And so now I talk to them. I ask them how they are. I say like, hey, what's up, crow? And I know my neighbors think that I'm insane, and that's okay. The crow usually walks over to me and then just kind of flies away. So yeah, they don't scare me. I might get a crow tattoo. I don't know. I'll research it some more because I just don't think that things that are dark necessarily need to be always seen as dark, you know? Like people see moths and they think that moths represent death, and in certain cultures it does, but it also represents like your lost loved ones coming back in a different form, or seeking light in darkness. Like, there's a lot of different meanings to a lot of things. So really just whatever the fuck you want something to mean, or whatever it means to you, there, you know? I don't know. It's all over the place today. You know what I mean? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this get ready with me and talk about ghosts, literally everything. I don't even know. The focus was ghosts and spirits and entities and makeup and, you know, boundaries and do your own thing and all of that. So yeah, welcome to ChocoLumpia Lessons. I said in my intro, it's gonna cover all of the things, you know? So don't make me pick one thing, because I'm not gonna do it. I will talk about all the stuff, and this channel will focus on all the things. Like it if you like ghosts, like it if you've ever seen ghosts before, like it if you are a ghost, like it if you have a crow tattoo, like this if you wear lashes every day, like this if you, I don't know, you know, like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get alerted every time I post a weird video. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Salamat for watching, and I will see you on the next video.